A better name for this might be Alligator Auschwitz, because it's a textbook concentration camp. Donald Trump's fascist immigration policy just took another dark turn. The Florida state government is building what the administration is calling a migrant detention facility in the Florida Everglades, which the state's attorney general has dubbed
Alligator Alcatraz.
But as many critics have pointed out, a better name for it might be Alligator Auschwitz, because in essence, it's a textbook concentration camp. The makeshift facility is being built on an abandoned airstrip about 50 miles west of Miami. There's apparently only one road in and out, and it's surrounded by an unforgiving wilderness full of mosquitoes, snakes, and yes, alligators. The facility is being rapidly constructed to hold up to 5,000 detainees in tent-like structures and trailers. The plan to build this camp has been widely condemned by environmentalists, indigenous leaders, immigration activists, and basically anyone with a conscience. Environmentalists warn it will do irreversible damage.
The Everglades as a whole is one of the most fragile ecosystems in the world. The president just committed over $400 million to Everglades restoration, and we're going to spend $450 million operating this facility every year. So it's a really kind of a, what are we doing here kind of situation.
The Florida Everglades are one of the world's most fragile ecosystems, already being ravaged by suburban sprawl and the fossil fuel-driven climate crisis. Meanwhile, indigenous groups also oppose the plan. They consider this land sacred, and their leaders say they weren't consulted.
This is our home. This is our refuge. We've been here for generations, since the times of the ending of the Seminole Wars, and this isn't a barren wasteland that they try to paint it to be.
But the concerns don't end there, because the truth is, this isn't just a detention facility, it's a concentration camp. Concentration camps have been used throughout history to isolate and punish groups seen as threats to the dominant power structure. They were used to horrifically slaughter Jewish people, socialists, communists, homosexuals, and many others in Nazi Germany, to isolate and imprison Japanese Americans during World War II, right here in the US, and by the British Empire to suppress resistance in Africa through brutal confinement. It's important to remember that concentration camps aren't defined by mass killing, at least not at first. According to most definitions, what makes a concentration camp is the mass, indefinite detention of civilians without trial or due process based solely on who they are. And that's the critical point. They're not there because they broke the law, but because of who they are, their identity, status, or mere existence. Trump and his cronies have claimed that they are only rounding up and deporting violent criminals, but that's a lie. According to NBC News, ICE data shows that roughly half of those deported in February did not have criminal records, and more than half of those currently in ICE detention have no criminal charges or convictions. ICE agents have even been caught using tattoos instead of, actual criminal records as evidence that some people are criminals. And they've mistakenly rounded up people who were here legally, like Kilmar Abrego Garcia and others, and then fought like hell to keep them in detention, even after admitting their mistake. But this camp goes further than the typical detention center. Like other concentration camps, prisoners here will be held in harsh conditions with no chance of escape or even legal recourse. Florida's human shit-stained governor said this:
"They ain't going anywhere once they're there unless you want them to go somewhere, because good luck getting to civilization."
Trump said this:
"But alligators, we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison, how to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%.
That cruelty is the point. Florida's GOP is even selling merch for their concentration camp. This isn't about stopping immigration. This is about sending a message. And that message is both for people who are considering coming here, this is what could happen to you, and for Trump's political enemies. This is what he wants to do to us. There is no doubt this is what he would do to anybody who opposed him if he could. But it's not just that. This story and his entire anti-immigration program is also a massive distraction. Trump was elected largely to address America's affordability crisis. But almost 6 months into office, he's taken absolutely no steps to make the price of groceries, housing, or healthcare come down. In fact, his tariffs and trade wars will likely make prices go up. And while we're all focused on the outrage over his new concentration camp, his allies back in Washington are busy pushing through Congress a tax break for the super wealthy, paid for by cuts in Medicaid. Those cuts will kill up to 51,000 Americans every year. Trump, a master media manipulator, understands that and is desperate to talk about anything else. Because the truth is, he's not going to do anything that will make life more affordable for working class Americans, because he deeply believes in, supports, and was elected to protect the economic system that got us into this mess in the first place, capitalism. Here's the thing, immigrants aren't the problem, greed is. They're a convenient scapegoat to take attention and rage away from a system that is keeping us enslaved, with some about to be held prisoner in an American concentration camp as collateral damage, all for having the wrong skin color. For Notice News, I'm Andrew Springer.